Today is gloomy, windy, and unseasonably cold. The birds nestle and play in the trees. And in their nooks, babies wait to be fed. One can feel rather glum on a day like this, but as I walk, I encounter things that make me smile. And I am brightening up my day by hosting a little tea party in my studio, inspired by Alice's adventures in Wonderland. In fact, I've decided the party is for my unbirthday. There is strawberry cake with vanilla frosting, something I wouldn't usually eat, tea, and a special gift. I found a new little house to do up on my way home. Do you have unbirthday parties, Wonder Weavers? I'd love you to share. Hello Wonder Weavers, I hope you're enjoying a beautiful week so far. This week I made my first small sofa or settee, and I found it rather challenging, particularly since it was the first time I'd made one, but I'm happy with the result. I think it is a really good attempt. So I am celebrating with an unbirthday party. I don't do this very often, and I think it's important to commemorate milestones even if they're little. Process in this. I share some of my process in this video and I hope you enjoy it. In the meanwhile, Wonder Weavers, I'd love you to share with us below. What are you making at the moment? Have you made a sofa or settee before? I'd love you to share any tips or advice that you have. I always love to learn from others. So I hope you enjoy this week's vlog. For the parlour, I've decided to make a Victorian-inspired settee. Drawing inspiration from Victorian sofas or settees, I start out by sketching a design. I've decided to create the sofa using balsa wood. Now, if you watched my last video, you might recall that I wasn't in love with balsa wood. The wood I have is really soft and splinters easily, so this time round I've decided to treat it more like paper. This means that this time round I'll try and use paper cutting tools and techniques to work with it. I start sketching the design for the back of the sofa on a piece of wood that is around 10 centimeters long. For the bench, I'll use another plank of balsa wood. For the sides of the sofa, I want them to be more ornate. In my journal, I sketch to scale the side, then I transfer the drawing onto tracing paper, and then with carbon paper, I transfer it onto the wood. As you can see, the lines are light, so I go over them with my graphite pencil. This time around, I've decided to cut the balsa wood using a hobby knife. I cut the wood mindfully and slowly. And we're there. The most difficult parts to cut were the sides. In fact, I had to cut them 4 times. In the first 2 instances, one of the legs broke off. A Victorian settee tends to be decorated with designs carved into the wood. As the balsa wood is very soft, I've decided to just score lightly with my hobby knife to see if I can carve part of my design. I then spend some time sanding the edges of each piece until they are smooth. Then I paint each part. After the paint is dry, I continue to work on the design of the bench using polymer clay and beads. Once I'm happy, I bake the design for about 10 minutes. Then once it's cool, I paint it. I try and assemble the settee with the wood glue I have, but unfortunately the glue wasn't strong enough to hold the pieces together. I try a second time using Elmer's glue all. For the cushions, I'm going to use fabric I thrifted. I first measure the length and the height of both the top and the bottom parts of the seat. Following these measurements, I then sketch with a graphite pencil the contours of each cushion onto white cardstock. Then with scissors I cut each shape out. I make sure that they fit the area where they're going to be glued, and if they don't, I trim them. For the foam of the cushion, I am cutting up a sponge, and that's because I don't actually have flat matting. Next, I cut squares and rectangles of the fabric. The fabric I'm using features a half-drop surface pattern design. When gluing the fabric, I'll need to mindfully place the foam onto it so that the stripes are straight and run vertically. I fold the edges in and with a hot glue gun, glue them down. Where I need to, I cut excess fabric away. As much as I can, I try and fold the edges as neatly as I can. This is so the cushion will sit flat on the seat. Once I've folded all of the edges, I make sure that the cushion fits. To create the impression that the seat cushions have buttons, I sew short stitches at regular intervals. Now it is time to glue the cushions to the seat. There you go, Wonder Weavers. My new sofa or settee is done. So I hope you enjoyed this week's vlog, Wonder Weavers. I'm going to finish my cup of tea now and begin pondering what other pieces I'd like to make for the parlour. I hope you have a beautiful weekend, Wonder Weavers. And for my beloved who was born in Venezuela, I'm going to sign off today by saying adios. What do you think, Robin? Do you like the pillows like this or like that?